Welcome to Fresh Catholic, a podcast for those who are converting, reverting, or simply want a fresh perspective of the Catholic faith to help them to open their hearts and minds to become closer to the love and goodness of Christ. My daily prayer is that I will be a bright light to others, to be filled with the love and light of Christ, so that when people look at me, they see Him radiating out from me for His glory.
Hello and welcome. I'm Lori Balderas, and I'm so happy you're here. Well, it was bound to happen. One of my videos on YouTube got taken down. In addition to me having my new online trolls who like to leave me messages, snarky messages, I have now had a video taken down on YouTube. So, does this mean I made it? Am I part of a special club now? You may or may not know, but I do have a YouTube channel. Some of you who are new might not know that. So I have a YouTube channel, and we have clips on there of my podcast. They're not the whole podcast. They're what we call fresh clips, and they're kind of a montage of the episodes. So one of the ones I did a fresh clip of was my Miracles episode, and YouTube said that I violated the harmful and dangerous policy. Harmful and dangerous. And I was talking about miracles. So go figure that. I was talking about my mentally ill son who'd been saved by his children being born, that they gave him something to live for, hence a beautiful miracle from our Lord. And it was supposed to be a good thing, and YouTube decided that was harmful and dangerous. So it turns out that YouTube reinstated my Miracles fresh clip. Apparently it was a slap on the wrist, a warning. In other words, quit making such good content. Make it more dirty. No, I'm just joking, people. Anyway, it's there if you would like to go have a look, have a listen for yourself, judge for yourself if it's harmful and dangerous content. I'm kind of glad it's back so that people can see for themselves. Have you ever noticed that online trolls can't be transparent and real? They always have to have a fake account. No photo, no followers, no posts. They're big talkers online, but they hide in the shadows. So all these things, just kind of like got my juices flowing that I would do this episode on the way that things are going, where positive things are being taken down, positive things are being removed, but other things are being kept. And my podcast and social media is meant to be a positive space. Although lately I've been a little more spicy. This episode is certainly going to be a little bit spicy, so buckle down. But for the most part, I wasn't really going to get in deep into political issues, but this just prompted me to want to discuss the just ridiculous space we are in our world right now. And so throughout this episode, I will be referring a lot to they and us. And when I'm using that, what I mean as they would be people who do not follow the teachings of our Lord Jesus Christ. That's they. And us and we are the ones that do follow Christ. So I hope that makes it clear. Okay? Here we go. I think it's safe to say that this world is certainly out of whack, or topsy-turvy, although I think that sounds so cute, that topsy-turvy term, and I don't think this situation we're in is cute at all. Everything I feel is backwards, upside down, opposite. Good is bad, bad is good. Parents have no rights over their children. Boys are girls, girls are boys. Police and good Samaritans are dangerous, but criminals are martyrs and victims. We're all in this together. We all know this is going on. And if you don't know it's going on, it is. So it's not good. Why are we expected to accept and condone and enable lies? Why are we expected to do that? I feel like many people right now are acting like they're in a hypnotized state, being driven by lies. Satan is lying to them. wooing them, and they in turn want others to lie like they are. We're living in kind of an emperor's new clothes type of a world where people want you to believe things that aren't actually there or true. If you're not familiar with that story, go look it up, because this emperor's walking around with no clothes on and everybody's acting like he has clothes on, these big grand clothes, and he doesn't. So, I have days where I feel like I've lost my mind and I'm the only one who sees things clearly. Is anyone else feeling that way? Because I just think, are you all kidding me that you're saying these things and we're all supposed to believe it because you're telling us, but it's clearly not true? That is very alarming. Why does our world seem to condone disordered, degenerate lifestyles and evil things from Satan? Why does our world celebrate those things, but things that are good, wholesome, and worthwhile get shut down? Why? When something is good, the bad and evil forces always want to tear it down. They like things dirty. They like things dark. They don't want peace. They don't want others to have happiness and joy. They are suffering and miserable and want others to be put in the pit of despair with them. Who is in charge right now in the world? Who put these people in charge? They're able to say and do anything they want. Why are they calling the shots? When did that happen? Like, there was a definite shift where all of a sudden everything just took this big avalanche slide. When did goodness become bad? Probably way back in Jesus's time, maybe even before that. But the Jews and the Pharisees and the Sadducees all had issues and problems with Jesus and his teachings. They wanted to maintain their own power. They were always trying to catch Jesus saying something they believed to be false. They all had a major role in his trial and death. They couldn't stand his goodness. They couldn't stand his holiness and knowledge. They couldn't stand that people were drawn to him. They wanted their way, and he was in the way. So they killed him. They had him removed, canceled. The ultimate cancellation. In turn, Jesus referred to them as hypocrites because they paid a lot of attention to outward ordinances and actions that would make them appear righteous, but they weren't as concerned with actually being righteous in their own hearts. And of course, the ultimate win was that he resurrected from the dead, just like he said he would. And I think we all know where they ended up. When they don't get their way, they have a temper tantrum. Have you noticed that? They act like a spoiled child. You don't like my way, you have to like my way. It's crazy to me. Sometimes I think we're all like in a hidden camera show, seeing how long we'll put up with something before we actually say something or do something or say no, have a firm no. Have you ever seen the show Boiling Points? It's from back in the day when I had a temper and I used to watch this show. I had a very short fuse. It was like, I wouldn't have made it very long on Boiling Points, but they would set people up and with some idiotic, over-the-top crazy scenario and see how long it took for the person to just launch. So sometimes I feel like we're on Boiling Points. At what point do we band together and not accept these terrorist tactics that these people are doing? Because that's how I see it. It's terrorist tactics. You don't agree with us, we're going to label you a bigot, racist, or Nazi. You don't do and say what we want, we're going to ruin you. The cancel culture that we're living in is the ultimate bully situation. Everything doesn't need to be a challenge or a fight or an argument, but that's what it's made to be. And generally, I feel like Catholics try to handle things in a more quiet, calm way, because I believe we're trying to be really good, God-fearing, Jesus-loving, kind, patient, and compassionate people. We go along with things. We try to be, very accepting of people, very, like I say, loving and kind. But we all have to get to the point where we are more firm and more strong and don't cave and cater to this, because it's gotten way out of hand. Even Jesus went into the temple and turned tables over because he was upset with how things were going. Even Jesus had a breaking point. He had had enough and wasn't allowing them to rule with evil. And I can promise you, if he was standing here today with us, he wouldn't just be laying there taking this. He wouldn't. And I think he needs us to be strong and fight. But when I say fight, I don't mean to lower ourselves to what Satan is drawing people to do these things. We don't want to lower ourselves and do what they're doing, but we have to be very strong in our faith. We have to be very strong in our guidelines and our morals and our ethics that Christ has taught us. We have to be very strong in that. What do you do when you're challenged by something that you know is wrong or immoral or sinful? Do you go along with it? Do you cave to pressure? In our world today, we are being demanded. People are demanding that we go along with these different things that they're presenting to us. We're supposed to drop our Catholic beliefs, our Christian morals. We're supposed to just go along with what they want. Take your child to drag queen story hour. Go to a Dodgers game and be involved in celebrating the Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence. Put your child on puberty blockers. All these things that they're demanding that people do. Do you stay strong? And you say, no, I'm not going to do those things. I'm not going to do those things. Or do you cave because you're afraid of being canceled? I mean, it's something to think about, but I know there's people that have had to make these decisions, and some will make a big, strong decision, and then they'll turn around and change it when they hear they're going to be canceled. How these people are being able to do that, how they're being able to cancel people's livelihoods and degrade people like that because they're not getting their way, I just find that to be fascinating, that this is what we're doing in this world. I kind of don't know what the answer is on that. I mean, I think we just need to stay strong. And I think you have a choice. You don't have to go to the Dodger game. You don't have to take your child to drag queen story hour. You can choose to not do those things. You don't have to go down the river with somebody just because they demand that you do it. And they're getting away with it because people are caving to it. And if you really look at these things with a clear lens and remove the scales from your eyes, you will see all these things are just completely sinful, from Satan, very divisive. These things are breaking up families. People are suicidal over these things. People are being lied to all day, every day. People are being bullied. It's such a crazy phenomenon, and I just don't understand, when all of a sudden everything turned. Evil forces are always trying to dazzle people with promises. You should drink. It's great. You should do this drug. You'll feel so much better. If you want that, you should steal it. If you want to have sex with anybody, everybody, whenever, wherever you want, you should be able to do it because it feels good. No morals, no ethics. All these lies remind me of when Satan was with Jesus and was trying to get him to do things that were sinful and turn away from the Lord and align with Satan instead. But Jesus stood firm. He didn't bend. He kept with his morals and ethics. He knew what he needed to do. He didn't fall for it. He didn't cater to it. And speaking of morals and ethics, When did people stop teaching their children morals and ethics? I mean, I'm hoping my listeners have taught their children that, but I'm just throwing it out there as a general question. Rules and guidelines and things that are for their own good. I mean, I know I went through a very rebellious phase, maybe two. I think everybody does, but if your rebellious phase is just ongoing and forever, there's something terribly, terribly wrong. And I think we're just living in a world of just rebellious. They're acting like rebellious teenagers, but they're not. They're adults. They think they just have to have everything their own way. If they don't, they have a temper tantrum. One thing that I was thinking about is to see if you fall into this trap. Are you the type of person that questions every rule? Do you like to go against the establishment and want your own way no matter the cost? Do you always have to protest and get your way? Do you only care about your own interests? And do you always see yourself as the victim? I think this little quiz is exactly the people we're dealing with in our world today. This is the type of person that's causing a major issue, and Satan has his complete claws dug deep into these people. And I personally pray for them every single day. I pray that they will soften, that they will see the light, that the scales will be removed from their eyes, that they will separate from the evil and the darkness that is Satan and go back to the light. All these people were raised, I'm almost positive, in a good way. I'm sure their parents had the best intentions when they were children, but for whatever reason, they have fallen victim to Satan and his shenanigans and his lies, and they're off track. But you know what? It's not too late for them, because Christ is waiting for everybody to turn to him, and it's not too late, and they can change their ways. They can look to goodness, look to the light, look to positivity. All that being said, we are living in an increasingly divided world. It's just being fractured constantly, relentlessly. We need to pray to the Lord to get it back united. He is the uniter. Satan is the divider and the scatterer. And boy, are we scattered. So the only way we can get this back on track is to stay strong, be brave, focus on the Lord, ask for his help, and not cave to these bullying terrorist tactics by these people that are canceling us and trolls and all those things. So stay strong, my friends. Stay strong. You can do it. And now some Fresh Catholic news. So I'm very excited that I have a speaking event this coming Friday. I'm doing a faculty retreat, and we will be talking about how to be a leader in the Catholic Church. So I'm very excited about that and hoping to do more and more speaking events. I have some great topics coming up that I'm excited about, so stay tuned for that. I'm getting more and more listeners, more and more subscribers. Thank you for that. Please rate and review. That would really help things. I would love it if you would do that. Send me emails. Let me know if there's any topics you want me to do. And if you have any special guests that you have access to that would like to come on my show, please get in contact with me, and I would love it. So I look forward to next week. Thank you for listening. Thank you for sharing. Thank you. Love you. Bye.
Thank you for joining me today. Now go out and be a bright light in someone's life. And remember, be focused, be faithful, and be fresh.
Fresh Catholic is produced, edited, and recorded at Wonder Mouse Studios in Ventura, California.